Hey, everybody off the Mike Sports Network here. Listen, I'm going to do something different here and something I never thought in a million years when I started this channel that I'm going to talk about because there's not a logo for this on the graphic. We're going to talk auto racing here for a second, but hear me out for a second before you shut this video off and go to a different thing. I think we found the next great dominant athlete in any sport. We've been looking for that for a while because, in golf, yeah, you got Scotty Scheffler and, like he's kind of dominated the golfing sphere for a while. LeBron is starting to wind down in the NBA. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes in the NFL. You got Connor McDavid, who still needs to win his championship in the NHL. I could keep going through a bunch of different things. You've obviously got Shohei Ohtani in Major League Baseball. I could keep going. But when it comes to auto racing, and when it specifically with IndyCar, the crown jewel of racing is the Indianapolis 500. And what we saw today, first of all, was an incredible race, just with littered with, you know, a bunch of mishaps, a bunch of crashes, people getting on fire. I made the joke. I should make the joke on social media. The only thing that was left was somebody to get, killed with a trident, because then it would have been a scene out of freaking Anchorman, which, we know wasn't going to happen. But yeah, there was guys on fire going into the wall. There's people crashing before the race even begins. I feel horrible for Scott McLaughlin, who's one of the best racers on the circuit, one of the best IndyCar racers on the circuit. But this is about Alex Palou, because before this year, I didn't really know much about Alex Palou because I wasn't an IndyCar guy. I've gotten the privilege to cover this guy since I've started to really cover IndyCar through my job at SiriusXM. SiriusXM's ties to the IndyCar circuit with owning an IndyCar team in Meyer Shank Racing. Um, Alex Palou races for Chip Ganassi, and this guy has dominated the IndyCar circuit for the last couple of years. The one thing that has really just eluded this guy for years is winning the crown jewel of racing, which is the Indianapolis 500 Memorial Day weekend. 350,000 people in the stadium at IMS. It's a listen. I've only watched sparingly. This was the first Indy 500 that I've watched almost through and through in a while, maybe ever. But I've watched this guy through the entire season just dominate the circuit, dominate it. And things were not looking great for him early on in this race. And near the end of this race, with 30 laps to go, he's pitting. He's got a tire deficiency. He's running, really trying to save fuel. Makes a bold pass of Marcus Ericsson, who won the race 2 years ago, over him, ironically. And he holds it off. The race ends under caution, but Alex Palou is going to win this race. But one thing I need to just illustrate here, if you're looking for an athlete to get behind, if you're looking for the next, great superstar athlete that we can, admire their greatness, you need to look no further than this guy. Because let me illustrate to you how dominant Alex Palou has been this year. This man, through 6 races, this season started 2 months ago in March. There have been 6 races in the NTT IndyCar series so far. Alex Palou has won 5 of them. And his worst finish was second in Long Beach. That's how good this guy has been. And this guy's won, I think, the last 2 or you IndyCar fans can get at me, but I'm trying to sort of make this at least, somewhat accessible and trying to get more fans in. But this guy's been dominant on the circuit forever. But to win this race in the manner that he did, coming from behind near the end and holding off the field, to win his fifth race in 6 tries so far, and his worst finish is 6. This guy is fucking dominant. He is fucking great to watch. He is calm as ever. He is cool as a cucumber. It is just amazing to watch this guy work. It really is. And one thing that I can say for everybody who's going to snicker at me, Mike, why are you talking auto racing? You guys need to understand, and I didn't even fully really understand or grasp, how much of really a sport and really a science auto racing is, especially in the IndyCar circuit. And you guys, for anybody who is watching this race, because most people only really watch the Indy 500 when it comes to auto racing, is specifically like they have their Daytonas and everything, unless you're like really into it. The Indy 500 is really the only time a lot of people are going to tune into IndyCar for most of the season. and you saw some crazy shit going down. Like Scott McLaughlin, one of the best guys on the circuit, he crashes on a pace lap. You had Alexander Rossi, a former winner, basically almost getting lit on fire. Kyle Larson was trying to is going to potentially race 1,100 miles because he's going to go do the NASCAR race, the Coca-Cola 600 in Charlotte, and he crashes out mid-race. Like this race had just about every bit of drama that you want, and it was exciting, but it comes down to the same result and the same guy, Alex Palou, just dominating the field and just showing everybody why. If you guys are looking for especially this is a perfect storm for IndyCar, because one thing that a lot of people have ripped on the NBA lately is there's not a dominant team. And, dynasties and like dominant athletes really create compelling storylines across sports. Like look at tennis and look at when Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal were like, when you have these dynamic and dominant superstar athletes, they really help your sport. And like the fact that there's no dynasty or no Michael Jordan, LeBron's not winning as much anymore, that's hurting the NBA. The people hate on the Chiefs, and hey, Patrick Mahomes has been dominant. IndyCar now has that with Alex Palou. And with him winning this race, the one thing that is alluded to him, I think this was his first win on an oval track, and it's the biggest track and the most recognizable race, the 109th running of one of the most famous races in all of autosport. And listen, if you want to get into something different and you want to migrate to something different and try something out, I would highly suggest watching IndyCar, because it's fascinating to watch these guys work. It's a team effort in the highest form. You've got team principals, you've got engineers, you've got all these people working on this car. You got these guys going well over 200 miles an hour around an oval, and sometimes they're not going that fast, in some of these road courses that they do. But this guy is as dominant as dominant an athlete in any sport. Because just think about this. In 6 races this year, he's won 5 of them, and the only one he lost was in Long Beach. He finished second, and he could have easily won that one. This is a remarkable, remarkable story. And I had to give a video and I had to give a shout out to this guy, because I've gotten the privilege to cover this guy and see what he's been able to do over the last, the last handful of months to dominate this, and, crunching up on my history and how dominant he was, winning series championships. The one thing that he hadn't done was win the Indy 500 and drink the milk and kiss the bricks at the Brickyard. He finally did that. Sky's the limit for this guy. And if you're looking for a new guy to rally behind, or if you're looking for a new sport to look into to see dominance, you need to watch this young man race, because this guy is special at the highest form. And I think the thing that I admire the most about him is he's the same guy no matter what. Nothing rattles him. Even if he pits with 30 laps to go and he's basically trying to save fuel, and does an unheard of pass with 10 laps to go to just take control of the race, and nothing rattles this guy. And he does a historic thing, becoming the first Spaniard to win the Indianapolis 500. It's really just a remarkable story. It really is. So if you're looking for a new sports story and a new thing to latch yourself onto coming into this summer, I would highly suggest, tuning into some IndyCar races and watching what Alex Palou can do, because this guy is just, it's going to be fascinating to see if anybody can stop this guy. 5 out of 6 so far. 5 out of 6. It's unheard of what he's doing. Like, they haven't had a dominant racer like this in decades, maybe ever. So congratulations to Alex Palou. Congratulations to Chip Ganassi Racing. This is, like I said, this was an unbelievable thing to watch. And, like I said, it was a fun race. Like, even with all the shit show that it was for a lot of these drivers and all these accidents and all these incidents happening, it still made for an incredibly compelling race, won by the best driver. Through all of that, Alex Palou wins. Death, taxes, and Alex Palou wins. So we may have found the next great dominant athlete in any sport, doing things that, maybe nobody's ever done in any sport. 5 out of 6 wins. and the worst finish is second. Unbelievable. Congratulations, Alex Palou. We probably won't go too in depth here on IndyCar moving forward, but with the Indianapolis 500, I needed to bring this up. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.